Welcome to the class. In the Law of Contract series, today let's talk about capacity of parties. As we all know, everybody has capacity to enter into contract. However, in Contract Act, certain provisions are added in order to qualify the person who is entering into contract. So, in this video, we are going to discuss who all cannot enter into contract. Yes, Section 11 of Indian Contract Act 1872 says anyone can enter into contract. That means it is universally open to all. Anyone can enter into contract except a minor, an unsound mind person, and a person who is disqualified. That means only people who belong to these three categories cannot enter into contract, but all others can enter into contract. Okay, now in the next slide and in this entire video, we are going to analyze why these people cannot enter into contract and what happens if they enter into contract. The legality of incompetent parties entering into contract. Okay, yeah. So first we are going to examine about minors contract. Of minors agreement. Generally, minor according to Indian law is a person who is not attained 18 years of age. A person who is below 18 years of age is considered to be more like a child. A person who has not attained a developed stage of mental status. Okay, that means the person may not be able to understand the nature of the contract or the consequences of it in which he is entering into, and therefore law wants to protect a minor's interest, and that is why law says a minor cannot enter into contract. And in case if anyone enters into a contract with a minor, that contract will be void ab initio. The Latin term void ab initio means void from the very beginning. In simple terms, law will never consider such a contract even existed, and therefore no liabilities are attached to a minor even if someone enters into a contract with him till he attains 18 years of age. Now, when a minor attains majority, when he turns 18, what happens? No ratification. That means even if somebody enters into a contract with a minor, later when he attains a majority, he cannot ratify that contract because law will never accept, law will never consider such a contract existed. This particular decision, this particular law was established in Indian legal system by a very famous case law, that is Mohari Bibi versus Dharamdas Ghosh. I have already uploaded a video on Mohari Bibi versus Dharamdas Ghosh. I will add the link in the description box, so please go and watch. That will help you to understand how a contract of minor becomes void ab initio. Okay, yeah. So that means there is no contract with minor, and therefore minor can never ratify a contract which he might have entered during his minority. Okay, now no estoppel therefore. Even if minor tells or minor through any gesture or a situation expresses that he is a major, and under that belief somebody enters into a contract with him, still the minor will not be liable because no estoppel works against a minor. Minor can never be liable. Therefore, it is the duty and responsibility of the person who is entering into a contract to confirm the age of the other party. Okay, you cannot put it on the minor that it is he or she made me believe that the age is above 18 and therefore I entered into a contract. Such excuses also will not stand because no estoppel will work against a minor. Remember, okay? Now, a minor cannot have liabilities. Who is we all know who is an insolvent person. An insolvent person is one, in simple terms, a person who has more liabilities than assets. Since a minor cannot have liabilities, minor can never be declared as insolvent. Okay, so to put it in nutshell, minor's contract is void ab initio. In case if minor enters into a contract, it will not be considered as valid. It will be null and void. And therefore, even after attaining majority, there is no ratification, no estoppel against a minor's contract, and when he is a minor, he or she is a minor, the person cannot be declared as insolvent. Okay, this is all about minor's contract. Now we are going to talk about certain situations where even a minor's contract will become enforceable. That means these three situations are exceptions to the general rule of minor's contract is void ab initio. Let's see what are they. A minor's contract is enforceable in case if minor is an agent, minor is a partner, and minor is the beneficiary. I will explain each one of them. Contract of agency. That means a minor can take up an agency, act as an agent, even he can claim the remuneration, but at the same time, when he is a minor agent will not have any liability. Similarly, minor can become a partner. Minor can be inducted into partnership through his or her legal guardian. And when he is a minor partner, he will have all the rights of other partners, like he can share the profit of the business. He can have he has an access to the book of accounts. He can share the profit of the business, but at the same time a minor partner will not have any personal liability. Okay, now the third one, wherever in a contract the minor is the beneficiary of it, that contract is valid. Like A is transferring his property in the name of minor daughter, because here the minor daughter is receiving property. She is at the receiving end of the contract. She is on the beneficiary of the contract. In such cases, contract is valid. Okay, so these are the three situations which are exceptions to the rule minor's contract is void ab initio. What are they? Minor can be an agent, minor can be a partner, minor can also be a beneficiary of the contract. Okay, now let's see what are the other categories. Yes, unsound mind person. Unsound mind person is one whose mental capacity is affected due to some reason, and because of that, right now, when he enters into a contract, he is not in a position to understand the nature of the contract and the consequences of it. And who all are unsound mind person? Yes, an idiot is a person who has a very lower level IQ, and therefore he or she is considered as a minor. They will never be able to understand the nature of the contract, and therefore an idiot cannot enter into contract. Law wants to protect the interest of an idiot. Lunatic person or insane person, a person whose mental capacity is affected due to some disease. It could be a mental disease, or it could be after effect of some shock or some physical disease. Anyway, at the time of entering into the contract, if that person's mental capacity is affected to such an extent that he is unable to understand the nature of the contract and the consequences of it, that person cannot enter into contract. But at the same time, lunacy or insanity is not a permanent disability. Sometimes it can be cured, and once it is treated and the person is recovered, he will become competent to enter into contract. Okay, so only problem is that at the time of entering into the contract, the person should not be suffering from insanity. Now the third category is drunkard. Drunkard, according to Contract Act, is a person who is intoxicated. Intoxicated can be he has voluntarily intoxicated himself by consuming alcohol or any drug abuse or anything else. Or it could be forcefully somebody else is intoxicating that person by administering alcohol or any other drug. Anyway, the concern is that at the time of entering into the contract, person should not be in such a condition that because of the effect of intoxication, he is unable to understand the nature of the contract, or he is unable to understand the consequences of the contract. In such cases, drunkard is not capable of entering into contract. Okay, so unsound mind person can be an idiot, an insane person, or a drunkard. Okay, now let's see the next category. Apart from that, there are other people who are disqualified by law from entering into contract. That means they may not be minors, They may not be unsound mind person, but still law says that these people cannot enter into contract. Better you don't enter into such contracts, because later it could create some legal problems, such as a convict. A convict is a person who is found guilty by a court of law, and he will be undergoing imprisonment. During that time, a convict cannot enter into contract. Alien enemy, up to alien enemy means citizen of a country against which our country is engaged in a war. During that time, during the time when the war is going on, two people of those two countries are considered to be alien enemies, and therefore they cannot enter into contract, because it is considered that it will be against the interest of our national security and sovereignty of the nation. Okay, now the third category is foreign sovereign or foreign diplomat, because they have some diplomatic immunities, and therefore our country legal system cannot bring them before the court of law, and therefore we cannot enter into contract with them. And the last category is insolvent person. Once the person is declared to be insolvent, all his property or assets will be transferred to an official receiver, and during that time he cannot enter into contracts. Okay. Yeah. So today we have seen who cannot enter into contracts. So apart from these people whom we discussed, anybody can enter into a valid contract. Is that clear? If you have any doubt, if you have some suggestions, please make use of the comment box. I'll be happy to help.